Cats, I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter, and tonight I'm actually going to show you how to make a super cute little glam side table lamp. Obviously, I didn't prep myself for the glam thing at all, as you can see, because I was so excited to just get the tutorial out, and I figured, you guys aren't here to see me, you're here to see the DIY. So anyway, I'm really excited to show it to you. It's super cute, and it's really not that hard either. I want to first thank everybody, all my new subscribers, my previous subscribers. You guys are awesome. My channel is growing rapidly and it's all because of you. And I really appreciate it and I'm so grateful and I'm humbled. I mean, who knew? Anyway, if you'd like to see more videos, go ahead and hit the subscribe button below and the little bell that pops up next to it. That way you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. So I guess that's it, and may as well just get right on to it. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is take this label off of your glass jar. I wouldn't normally show this, but this darn label is stuck on there really, really well. So one of my little things that I do just to make life easier is I use just some alcohol and squirt it on there and let it kind of sit for a minute, and then it pretty easily scrapes off. And that's just my little tip for the day. I'm sure y'all probably knew that, but in case you didn't, I'm sharing. Okay, now that the label is off, that only took me probably 15 seconds. The next step is going to be to use our mirror effect spray, and we're going to make this jar look like mercury glass. You're also going to need your spray bottle, and that just has water in it. Okay, so you're going to take your glass jar here and give a few squirts of water into it. You don't want to overly squirt it, but you want to put enough that you get it in there to make the effect. Next, you're going to take your spray and spray paint the inside only of your jar. I hope you can see this. I'm not able to look at my camera at the same time. And then I swoosh it around a bit. You can see how the outside is starting to look, but the difference comes when it dries. If there's some spots in there that you're not happy with, like there's a spot in there that I'm not really liking all that much, I'm just going to go ahead and spray a little extra. Okay, I'm pretty happy with how it looks, I think. Well, you know, say that, then I gotta spray more. So we're just gonna let it sit out here and dry while we work on the next step of the process. Now we're actually going to work on the foundation or the base for the lampshade. So you're going to use cardboard for that. And I found that this the priority mailbox is actually, it's free for one thing, which is always a great plus, from the post office. And the other thing is that it's really nice and thin, so that makes it easier and it makes it much nicer. So what you're going to want to do is measure out. It's nice also because you already have some of the clean straight lines on here that you can use. But you're going to measure out whatever thickness you would like. I would say approximately 1 1/4, 1.5 inch at most would be a good thickness. And then lengthwise, approximately 13 inches. And I used an X-Acto knife, so placed my ruler once I had my measurements, placed my ruler, and then used my X-Acto knife to cut through. I feel like it gives a cleaner line than scissors. Now, these are nice and obviously smooth and flat. We're going to want to round them out, and I found the best way to do that is just to pull it on the side of your table, kind of break down that shape. So what that does is it softens up the cardboard, and so that it gets also more of a rounded shape to it. And then we're going to glue these two ends together to keep it round. And with that, I'm going to be using my glue gun, placing a little bit of glue here on the end and sticking it together. And here we have one of the round forms for our shade. We're going to do the same thing with the second one, and then we'll go to the next step. Here are our two pieces, and we're going to be moving on to putting the crisscross formation inside that's going to hold that and stabilize it to keep it round. So what we're going to do next is take the placemat that we bought, and I do have another tutorial that you can watch. I'm not going to get as detailed in, and I will link that below, but what we're going to be doing is flipping the placemat over. Because it is individual little sticks, they are woven together and stuff, but I'm more concerned that they're going to fall apart when we cut. So what I did is take my glue gun and go along glue in this area right up against this end piece. And as soon as that cools, we take the scissors and cut off this piece out here as close to it as possible, and then you'll have the glue here that'll keep everything else from unraveling. You want to save this piece, and this is what's actually going to be used to be put inside the center, crisscrossed here, to form the foundation. So you're going to take and measure out the length of your circle and then cut right there at that point. This is what's going to go centered right in there. We're going to figure another one for crisscross in the other direction and give a cut for that one. In the center of this piece, and glue that piece in. So now we have the basic foundation pieces for our lampshade. Okay, now that we have our two pieces all ready to go, which is the foundation for our lampshade, you're going to take your placemat that you've cut the ends off and glued, and you are going to measure around enough to go completely around your foundation piece. Make a small mark so that you know where to cut, what to cut off. I just used a tiny little dot with Sharpie because I don't want it to show later. And then we're going to cut our piece of mat. So again, you're going to want to put some glue where you cut so that you don't have this piece coming apart. Once that piece has cooled off, go ahead and cut right between the sticks. And then if you buy the same placemat that I bought from Daiso, it has, you can see that it already has a pattern of lines. That just makes it easier to be able to cut and measure. If you don't have lines that are on it already as the pattern, then you can go ahead and just measure out the length that you want for your lampshade to be. Keep in mind that your foundation pieces have a depth of 1.5 inches, so you do want to allow some amount to be able to have the light shining through, because this will not have the light shine through. So usually around 5.75 to 6 inches is a good length. I'm actually going to use the pattern since I have it available to me. Okay, now that I have my 2 pieces cut, we're going to set the 1 piece aside, which you can use to make a second lamp if you'd like to. I'm going to just set mine aside and work on this one for now. We're going to take our foundation pieces now and place some glue on there, your hot glue. Attach your placemat to it. You want to make sure that you're going to keep it flush with the edge here. I'm going to actually do both pieces at the same time, because once this is fully wrapped, it's very difficult to put the second piece in. Okay, so we'll be adding glue around this side and flipping the mat over it to cover both rings completely. So here we have our cute little lampshade. Now if you'd like to do like the other tutorial, you can leave this in this finish so that you can make a more of a nautical or a farmhouse decor, but I already did that tutorial, so we are going to make the glam lamp that I showed in the start of this video. We're going to take this outside and give it a nice little spray with our Rustoleum metallic spray so that we can give this the glam look it deserves. So here's our jar that we painted earlier and dried. I think it's beautiful. Anyway, so while we're waiting now on the lampshade to dry, we're going to work with this piece. So we're going to flip it upside down. I usually like, and I didn't mention this in products needed, but I usually like, before I glue anything on to that, especially since I'm using my glue gun, to clean it with alcohol just so that any oils that are on there will come off and it will stick a lot better. And the same thing with this piece that we're actually going to be gluing on. I want to clean that off as well with a little bit of alcohol. Cut the tag off. Okay, so we're going to put glue around this inside edge here, and we're going to be attaching it directly on top of here. There you have it for right now. The next thing we're going to do is take our diamond wrap. Now this particular one I got off of Amazon, but they do have it at Dollar Tree. but I'm just going to cut one strand or one row, and that's going to be just to put around the base here to cover up any glue that might be showing or any just space on there to kind of give it a finished look. So if you buy the Dollar Tree one, it has 3 rows or 5 rows. You're just going to want to use 1 row. So whatever you've got, you still need to cut 1 row off of it. Add a bit of glue. And right there in the space, kind of set it in there. I'm not really pressing it too far in because I don't want it to get sunken into the groove. I kind of want it to show a little bit and not just get jammed in there. Slowly starting to come together. Something really important to mention when you're putting your placemat, wrapping it around to make your lampshade, you want to make sure that the one piece has, that you glue it with the crisscross close to the top. And you want to make sure that the other piece is glued with them set down in a little lower. That is important because this one with them closer to the top is going to be glued to the base, and that's what's going to help your lampshade not cover the entire base. And this one in here is what's going to hold any lighting. If you put any batteries, any clips, anything like that, that's what's going to be holding the lighting. So depending on what you want, you don't want a battery pack to show in there. And also people will be probably able to see through the top better, and you want that to look as good as it can. So now that our base is ready and our lampshade is dry, we're going to put our bling wrap around the edges here. Again, we're going to be cutting 1 strip off of our bling wrap. We're going to need 2 pieces that are a single row each because we're going to be gluing it to the top and to the bottom. Add your hot glue. Just to start, I put it on the lampshade. After that, I'm going to just put it on the bling wrap itself. I feel like that just has a little better, for me, a little better control. You do whatever works best for you. I just feel like it's easier to use less glue if I put it directly on the bling wrap. Our bling is applied. Now we're going to take our clip-on book light. These things are great. They put out a lot of light, and for this project it's really nice because it already has the hook attached. Test it, make sure it works. Yes, it does. Nice and bright. You can take it and clip it to the bottom, pass it through the top into the bottom, and clip it to, it's a little harder to do, but it's worth it. Squeeze it and clip it onto the bottom. Slide it out a bit so that you have room to glue the base here. I prefer it on the bottom. I think it just looks neater. My other tutorial, I did not have this light, so I ended up using the battery pack lights. So the battery pack sat up here in the indented portion and then were wrapped around. What I like about clipping this to the bottom is that then you can bend this piece over the top here and put it inside, and it really doesn't show, which to me has a much nicer look, but it's up to you. And if you do choose to do that, you may want to throw a little hot glue inside here just to hold the clip into place. Again, make sure that your clip is as far over as possible so that it doesn't interfere with you gluing your base in there. Let's do our alcohol little trick. And place our lampshade. So, oops. Don't press too hard like I just did, because I just unglued the crisscross bar, which is not a problem. We'll just glue it back on. But you do want to make sure that's centered on there. And so far, so cute. Actually, so far, we're actually done. Now, because these crisscross bars, one is taller than the other, you will need to stabilize by putting some extra glue on your crisscross bar where it's going to attach. And get it a good chance to dry before you move it around. Don't be too excited like I am to pick it up so I can show you guys. Give it a minute. And once your glue is dry, there you have it. Is that not freaking adorable? I love it. I'm going to show you it all ready to go and looking beautimous. Hang on. So here they are, and I just wanted to show you. The one that is taller was actually made with the larger globe than the small. I couldn't find the smaller globe at my Dollar Tree, so either one will work. But this is what they look like.